Hi! Today we're going to paint Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh. I'll start first with our brushes. We have a large wide. I don't know the numbers as well. This is a Royal Langnickel, an MR 438. Basically, I like it because it's wide and it'll cover a lot of ground. And we also have it's considered a filbert brush. And I also have a small square and then a liner brush. If we need any other brushes, I will bring them in. I use an ice cream lid as a palette with some press and seal. And the first color we're going to use today is cobalt blue. And we're going to cover 80–90% of the canvas with this. As you can see on the picture, it starts here, so we got about 2 to 3 fingers where the land will be. It does climb up to the right to insinuate mountains, but for the most part we're going to be covering all of this in the sky. To teach this to a class, I believe that I've found or discovered or watched enough videos to know that this method of using a dark underpainting really helps to move the painting along, because if we painted it like Van Gogh painted it, which is stroke for stroke, we would need 5 hours for this class, and we don't have that kind of time. So we're going to bring our water over and keep this like wet. It'll move it better. It does not have to be a dark layer. Okay, we just want one of the extra blues that's making up the dashes in the background. It just saves us a step basically and helps us for placement of our mountains, the landscape. This was 1889 that Vincent painted this. It is said that he visualized or witnessed this scene. Actually, there's several scenes put together in one of his paintings while he was at the St. Remy Hospital. He had some mental health issues that he was working through, and while he was there, this was supposedly a view out his back window, or his window of his hospital room. Generally, when I'm painting, I do like to do my sides while I have the color made, or have the color out that I'm using that would fit that part of the canvas. I just think it makes for a completer picture. If you're going to frame this, of course that isn't an issue then. Okay, so we've got the blue done here. And you can see I brought it down. This is our line here for the mountains. See? Okay, this next step calls for some phthalo green, which I mixed some regular green, some of the ultramarine blue that I had, and just a dab of the black. And you can see I got a nice phthalo green color. I'm just going to do this one area. I'm going to tag it here, and I'm going to bring this across. Okay, and then I'm going to fill in this bottom area. Technical difficulties with that phthalo green that I just made. There are several layers of what appear to be mountains and the landscape in this painting, and much of it is open for interpretation, which is what you'll find. It's what I found in preparation for this class. There were so many different ways to teach this. It was really fascinating. There again, I'm going to try and get my side painted without getting color everywhere. Okay. Okay, I've put some white and more ultramarine blue on my plate. I'm going to take a big scoop of the white and some of the blue, and I'm using that filbert brush now. I'm going to make a lighter blue. Okay. And we're going to move along here. Okay. And then this side gets some sky. This is like, we need more mountain over here, sorry. My bad. We had a mountain come over here. We have another mountain here. There we go. I got a little anxious with that one. Oops, we got some goop on that. Oops, see it? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to wipe off the excess off that filbert. Swish it in the water real quick just to get... I'm going to go in for some blue now, like I tried to do earlier. To put that right here. This will be dashed along with some of the others. This is just a... yes. Yes, alright. Now we can clean most of the paint off of that brush. Just work this in here, just so it doesn't look messy. Okay, that blended nicely. Wipe off a lot of the paint. Make this transition a little softer. Okay, I see that. Well, that's where that's going to go. I might add fill in this spot here. That's where our cypress is going to go, so that's not a big deal, but just to give everybody coverage. By the time we are done dashing, you will never know this was there. Or filled in secondary. See? A little bit of white there, and we'll go right over that too. Okay. A little bit more white for the blue. Here we go. See, this wasn't really the image that was below Vincent when he was standing in his hospital room. However, it was windy and swirly. Now we're going to use the white and the blue again and make another section of light blue paint. See? And we're going to, the clouds appeared to be moving. They were it was very windy that night. Stars were very out. It was very clear. Venus is here. There's approximately 11 stars in the paintings, and then you have the big moon, okay? So we're gonna take our filbert brush here, and we're gonna start this on the far left corner, or part about 3 fingers down from the top, and just make your swoosh. There's the first swoosh. Your first swoosh. Okay? And then there's another smaller one in the shape of an S that comes off of this one. And is here. Okay? They're both. It's a starry, windy, breezy, beautiful night in the St. Remy. Okay? We're going to be able to dash through some of this. You can bring this up. Fill this in some. That's good. I'm going to take that on the side too. Just the blue, just the light blue. I'll need to also remember to dash that side. I haven't read anything yet that talks about how Vincent developed his style. The dashes. I mean, that's really extraordinary technique. It is, it's very tedious. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is blend some yellow. I used Artist Loft Deep Yellow. And I'm going to take some white and tone that down and make a soft yellow. And that's going to be the base of our stars. And we're going to start with the biggest. It's not a star, it's our moon. But we'll start here and make a large circle in the sky. Okay? Lay that down first. Try and get it as round as you can. You won't know the difference by the time we're done dashing on this thing. Okay? Pick up some more white into the yellow. And we have a star here. We have a star here. star here. One here. I mean, this is not about realism, folks. This is called impressionism. We're impressioning. We're insinuating that these will be stars, right? Very good. Okay, so I made some more yellow. I'm going to make some more yellow, some light yellow. And I'm going to do a few dashes while we have the yellow prevalent. And I did switch over to a larger round brush. Now this is where we're going to start with some of the dashes. So I'm going to start on, let's see. We don't want them all yellow, okay? So we're just going to put some dashes in here randomly. Then we're going to come down to the sky portion here. Okay? Dashes. Dash along. Okay, I'm going to switch down to a smaller round brush because we're going to start doing some dashes around our moon. Get some more paint going over there. Okay, see, I'm going to have a nice tip on my brush. And I'm just going to make some dashes around the moon. You make those a little lighter and airier than the dashes we did earlier. You can lay them like in a brick pattern, you know, which is kind of opposite. So, just nice wispy lines. We still want to see the blue behind it. And then I want you to get paint on your brush. And we're going to go and do one row of the yellow lines around our stars. Just a thin little line. On each of our stars. All right, there's a few more left. This is one of those paintings that it is super crucial to stand by the rule that you don't judge your painting until you're finished, because this painting changes literally by the stroke. There's so much that goes into this. One thing they do recommend is that you take pictures of your progress along the way. Okay, so we've got all the stars with that one color, yellow and white. It's a light yellow. Okay, I'm taking a darker. Okay, I'm going to proceed and use a darker blue, and I'm going to use some dashes. So I'm going to take the darker blue and get the tip of the brush as small as I can. I don't know if you can see that. Here we go. Okay. And we're going to just do some dashes in our windy clouds. Keep that tip wet with paint. We're not going to put a lot down of the dark in the cloud section, because that is much lighter. There's also a few dashes along this like horizon line. It's a small cloudless line that's picking up refraction from the moon. You know, your guess is as good as mine. The interpretation of this painting is infinite, I guess. But you have to be careful, because see, I just made green there. Oops. We're going to go and make another light blue, or more light blue, I should say. And we're just going to come along and like dash the top. I'm going to get my side here. If you don't worry if you overlap anything, because this is, again, Impressionism. And Impressionism, in my mind, I don't know what the actual definition is, but as long as what you paint makes you feel like this is what you're seeing, I will look up the proper definition of an Impressionist. But it's your impression of seeing something. This was Vincent's impression of seeing the windy night with all the stars. I'm going to add even more white and go over that section again. I believe that this really wants to be much lighter. So we'll try it. Yeah, that's a better. I like that. We want some definition of the sides or the clouds. See, that's really picking that up nice. We'll get some see where they go. Nice tip on that. That's the one thing about the dashes, is making sure of the direction of the dashes, because I believe that that's important too for making it feel like it is very windy outside and it's nighttime because of all the stars. I'm also going to carry this light blue down into this here. Okay. I am not opposed to adding white there. I'm going to have to get some more white. I'm going to wipe off the blue on that. I laid down some professional artist loft weight white because I really think that my lines need to be, this needs to be lightened up here. So I'm just going to take the tip of my brush and roll it around. I can get it a little damp and it'll move that paint a little bit. Okay? I'm just going to go dash along here, just trying to make a clearer edge of our wispy clouds and how they're moving through the sky. There, that's a little better. These dashes do not have to be the same size, the same width. I mean, when have you known any breeze to be the same? The same with these brush strokes. They're just dashes. They're just thoughts of the wind. There. That's a little bit better. I'm going to wipe that brush off. Give it a good rinse in my cup. I'm going to switch over to my rather thin liner brush.
And that's what creates the
Okay, now we're going to add some dashes in all of this voided space. Okay, we're going to take some of the white, all right, and add it to some of the blue, and just make a lighter blue than the underpainting, which we can do. And it just has to be a tone or two different, just to stand out, okay? I am using my round, and I'm going to want to be careful because, okay, so I'm going to go around each of the stars, but I'm also going to go in the flow of the wind, like here. And I'll just use a light pressure to go around, making sure I get the side of my board, go along and around. Don't be shy with your paint. But if you are using a larger round, you want to be careful not to apply too much pressure. Okay, it's coming along nicely. Just adding some extra lines to follow the patterns of the wind that Vincent saw that night from his hospital room in France back in 1989. Now, with this done here, oops, need a few up here. Let's go back and add some of this darker blue too. I think this is screaming for some darkness. Let's just see here. I'm gonna just put a couple. That went really green on me. Hang on. We're just gonna add some darker blue here too, just to follow around the stars, to show the pattern of the breeze blowing that night, because it had mystified Vincent. I mean, look how popular this painting is, valued at $7 million, the original. It is not a copyrighted print, and that's why you and I are able to paint this without paying any copyright fee. Or I'm just going around all the stars, adding some dark lines, using that darker blue. We just want to get different variations of the blue. So many different shades, and I think that's what maybe he was trying to express, albeit at night. Now, a lot of the painters that I watched used black and went along this mountain edge, and I believe we're going to do that next. I'm going to wipe off my dasher. I'm going to pick up my lime brush, and I'm going in for a little black. Get my brush wet. Extend that black a little bit, because we're not looking for a really thick line. We just want a definition line. We're just going to, first of all, we're going to come along these mountains here. There again, I'm going to go down the edge on the side. There. I have to do this side too. Oops, I didn't do that side of the green. Oopsie. We will correct that. Okay. wiping that brush off and cleaning that up. I'm not going to be even beyond. I'm going to take some of the blue and black, and I'm just going to make the tiniest lines. Whoa, hello. Just to give some guidance for the shape of my clouds. Some drama. Some drama. I'm going to come up top. Oops. Kind of helps to define that swirl, right? You can always come back in here. Use some blue that's still wet and come along these lines again. This is your experience with Van Gogh. Coming into this man's mind, using his technique of dashing. It really, it's a really cool technique. I love it. I love it. Okay, next we're gonna dash this here with a light blue. Let me see if I got it lighter. Yeah, we're good. Depicting the rolling hills. Okay, I'm going to continue with the light blue. I might add a little bit more white to this and just go over this. Okay, I'm going to clean this little brush off. I'm going to add some black highlights in there. Well, I have a puddle of black on my plate. I didn't get to it to do it earlier. Oh, my hand is just not cooperating tonight. It's not being the ball. Wasn't being the ball. Okay. Now, we're going to take the orange and we're going to draw in our moon here. I'm using an orange from Testers. It was a kit I got at Farmer Fleet. And this particular color is called Tangerine. Excuse me. Alright, so we start by making a C. We want a crescent moon in this case. And then in many of the situations I saw people add an orange dot to these stars just for some definition. Then I'm going to start with a little white little liner brush again, and I'm going to start going around these stars. Because these are stars after all, they're not suns, right? They are stars. And the yellow glow is Impressionism. Be careful not to go over the part of this canvas you might have just painted. I imagine this part can be very therapeutic. A challenge. What do you do with your mind when you're painting? Mine remarkably goes quiet, and it allows my hands to do the work. You can take your time or you can go quickly. Yeah. Venus is supposed to be the brighter star. So hopefully I can set this on a time lapse and get through this when I'm editing this video for you, because this could be tedious to watch as it is to paint. But in tedium there is many problems solved. That's why I think with the onset of the internet and games, handheld games, kids lost their ability or their willingness to play, to create with their own brain. And this is sure a good way to get you in that mode, to put your brain to work. Yeah, we like this. Now remember what I said, no judging your painting. until the last stroke. So many things can change the way it looks. So many layers are needed in acrylic paintings. It's true, it's all about the layers. I think mostly that's true because there's not as much pigment in an acrylic paint. Sure, in the expensive ones. But these cheap ones that I buy for painting like this, they dry quick, there's not much pigment, they're very transparent. And so we've learned that the best way is to layer many, many layers. And when we are dashing and tagging, especially, because that is the way Vincent wants it. And whatever Vincent wants, Vincent gets. And we're going to come back in here and add some other highlights. Oh, we have one over here. Okay. I'm going to go back through and add just a few orange drops, orange dashes. I'm going to start just in the centers of the stars, because after all they are nighttime stars, and we really don't want to imply that they're anything but that. See this adding this orange pop gives it a little bit of fun. Oop, oop, oop. A little bit of depth, right? Okay. All right. Cleaning that brush. I'm going to bring some. Oop, do I have any yellow there? Yellow, some white. Ooh, that white's kind of done, huh? Oh, there we go. I'm going to get a little bit too much orange there. Okay. I'm going to take a short break and be right back to do the cypress tree and the church and village. Okay, I'm going to attempt to do the cypress tree. I'm going to place it right between these two stars. This would be Venus and another one of the morning stars. I'm going to start with a black. Just for the outline, we're going to use a couple of the colors. The cypress tree it's a version of an evergreen grown in France. Generally, they stand straight up and down. Some of the older ones, like what Vincent saw, or that is familiar with, had a fuller base with the branches, and I think that's one of the reasons we see the branches in his cypress tree, is because that indicates just how windy it was. And so we're going to start down here and get that there. I need a little bit more of a broader base. We're going down in here. Alright, we have our cypress tree base. Bring that out. Okay, and so now we need a brown, or I'm going to pull out this burnt sienna and just put a dollop on the plate. I don't need a lot of it. I'm not even going to take the black off my brush. I'm going to tip some on. So we know we got a branch here, right? Same here. Now, keep in mind, evergreens are green, so we definitely need some green to add to this. Just a tad, you know, just to keep it real. And so that brown there is going to play like a shadow. Be careful, you like that point. It's crucial to the likeness of this to stay as close to his reference. That's kind of cool. I'm going to take just a little bit of the orange, so I got a little tip on my brush. Get a highlight going here. There we go. I'm really happy with that. And now for the church. I'm going to do something here that I'm just going to try it, because for me, learning how to paint, what I realized mostly is that it's about shapes and colors, tones, harmonizing colors and shapes. So I'm going to put my church here, my steeple here. So while I've got, I think I'll draw the steeple with my skinny brush. We'll just bring that down here. We'll get a lot of nice black paint on there. Let the steeple come right here. You see how I've got I use my finger as the anchor so I can hold. And then a steeple would not be a steeple if it did not represent the cross. And now we need to, what I was going to show you first, maybe I can do that. I'm going to mix a light blue again. Using my white and blue. And my square flat. Okay. And we need a roof for our church. So we'll go like that. And then we need a walls. And then we need a front door. Okay, I don't like that very much. That building's almost too big. I may have to repair this. Now I grabbed another flat round, or another flat flat brush. I'm still going to go in and make a light blue for the church. I'm going to make the building a little smaller though. Let's see here. We have the front of the church. There, I do have a point I want to make with just drawing the shapes, right? So let's draw another building here. And we'll draw one more building here. And so we have a village. Now the other thing that's in the drawing that I think is crucial is what is represented over here by the hay fields. So there's like these hay fields here. I mean, this is a working community, I have to imagine. You know, and then there was well, a few of the artists I saw just gave it, dashed out the grass, which I think is a fine idea, just to get us through. My hope for you, if you enjoy painting, is that you want to paint and repaint this. I'm curious to do it stroke by stroke, like Vincent did. I think that is that would be something else. In fact, I watched out of all the painters I watched paint this, and so far it's been about 15. only one really painted it stroke by stroke, how I am envisioning that Vincent did it. I didn't like the white, so I'm going over it a little bit. We're just dashing the yard. And I may be tempted to add some big bushes. I know that there are big bushes in the original. And that would be just taking this and making big bumps like that, taking the green, another square brush, and I'm going to make bushes in front of the church and bushes along this house and bushes along this hedge. I just started blending all my dashes. It just didn't seem right, you know. When you're trying to be in the mind space of Vincent van Gogh, I don't think that's possible for me. So we'll just take some of the blue that we've got and sprinkle it through here. And that'll be a nice contrast for the sky. I'm not going to put a lot in, just some, just to give it some. There's some green again. This is whatever you want to make it. Now, I would like to clean my line brush, is add some hay-like highlights here. It's always best to get a lot of paint on, add some extra moisture, and it just flows better. Going right underneath the arch that the black made. I personally want it to imply this is hay. Oh, come on. Now, I don't mind that, but that is almost too much. So we're going to go back over. Let's see. Just a touch of black. Not too much. Just, oh man. Let's try it. Just going to dry brush it a little bit, just to take some of the, I'm an acrylic painting out of it. There. There. Because then when you look back, that just gives it some mounds in the ground. Okay, I like that better. Not bad. Now here's the part that I thought would be fun. Okay, check this out. So this just became a mixed media event. So if you're not steady enough with a paintbrush, or you just want a different look, or you want a more finite look, I'm going to take this fine marker and at least outline it so I know where I'm going. You just be the ball, I guess. Think of a roof. A roof. Have a little chimney here. These markers are only good for so much time on its side. And then you can go in with your other brush, if your paint's still wet. Add some light to the windows. Take the burnt and the black and make it brown. Touch the roof. Stroke this one very lightly. Just barely add color. See how you like that. Add some shadow. Up on the roof. On the roof. Okay, so now I've made a choice here. For more definition. So hopefully I can stop here in the front. Nope. I'm going to have to change brushes in that case. Because this big round is too much. It's too much brush. This is better. The liner brush again. Let's see. Let's just get some burnt sienna in there. Alright, I'm going to be done messing with that. I really think I'm lacking something up here in this corner. So, since we have hay mounds, maybe we'll mix the green and the orange and make some dashes. So there's more hay growing. There, I feel better about that. Well, we could take this brush again, this square brush, and add a little bush here. A happy little bush. Okay. I mean, I'll probably see something I could change, and like for instance, taking the liner brush, making sure it's wet, going in the black, and just adding a few darker strokes up here, because this further away from the moon, and we want that darker up there. Not all the way across, mind you, but just little suggestions that it's darker over here and perhaps here. And most definitely right here. Especially here because of the cypress tree. And I think closer to the cypress tree, and voila, this is my first Starry Night, and I'm going to use the hay color and sign my painting. My first complete Starry Night. I've done a couple more on tree ends, and I will showcase those soon. Thank you for watching.